Hi, Rachel.
Hi,
Nice to finally meet you.
me too.
I'm Gracie, and I'm excited to be talking a little bit about Christian today. I just wanted to start off by saying I did review his IEP and his annual social assessments and his diagnostic information as well. I found that he is diagnosed with apraxia of speech and autism spectrum disorder. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then I also noted that the usual people in his everyday routine are yourself, dad, and sister here and there.
Yes.
Okay. And then he also has a current BCBA and therapists, and that's an ABA therapy, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then I noted too that you guys do attend church regularly. Would you say that's on a weekly basis?
Yes, every week.
Okay. And then you are also a Spanish speaking household, but primarily use English. Is that correct?
Yeah, we use English mostly.
Okay. Would you say that your family members and friends and other people that he's around pretty much use English as well?
Yes, they do.
Okay. All right. So we are going to start off with some basic background information. What is Christian's birthday?
May 15th, 2018.
Okay. So that makes him 6 years old and 5 months. And then he is a male. And how would you describe his language abilities if you were given the scale of nonverbal, one word utterances, short disfluent sentences, or full fluency?
Pretty much nonverbal.
Okay. And then I did note that he also has an AAC device. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. How often would you say he uses that?
Um, he uses it regularly, but he has to be prompted to use it.
Okay. Okay. So you
So he
don't.
doesn't just use it on his own.
Okay. Gotcha. And then are you seeing just more like one word requests on that, or is he using it in full sentences?
Pretty much like one word, a couple words,
Okay.
not full sentences.
Okay. Thank you. And then does he attend school?
No.
Okay, so just ABA therapy
Yes.
then.
Mhm.
Okay. And is that daily or just a couple times a week?
Yeah, daily.
Daily?
Mhm.
Okay. And then how many hours a day would you say he's in ABA therapy?
Um, Probably about 4.
4 hours a day? Okay. Give or take?
Give or take an hour, maybe.
Okay. All right, now we're going to go into some of the things that he enjoys doing. How would you describe Christian's play skills and his preferred toys or activities that he likes to engage in?
I mean, he likes to play. He likes to play with his toys.
Okay, what kind of toys are those?
Um, well, he likes his iPad.
Okay, that seems to be a hit with most of the kids.
Yep.
All right, would you say he spends most of his time on his iPad then?
Yep.
Okay. All right, and would you say he engages in playing with other kids, or usually is just by himself on his iPad?
And a lot of times, it's pretty much by himself on his iPad. So he
Okay.
has a trouble to communicate with the other kids.
Okay. And then besides his iPad, is there any other things he prefers to do? Any kind of activity? Um,
Um, he seems to enjoy his stuffed animals,
okay.
playing with them. Yeah, he really does like his stuffed animals a lot,
Okay.
and his iPad.
Okay. Great. Thank you. And then, is your child taking any medications?
No.
No medications, okay. All right. Thank you. We're going to move on to some other questions now. And this is going to reflect more of his behaviors that you're kind of seeing.
Okay.
What are his problem behaviors? What would you say?
He tantrums.
Okay, tantrums.
Mm-hmm. And he, like, when he tantrums, he cries, he screams. Sometimes he'll get violent and throw things and kick.
Okay. Okay, and would you say each tantrum usually has all of those things? Is it the crying, screaming, throwing, kicking all at once, or is it sometimes more mild at other times?
It's pretty much all at once like that.
Okay.
Always the crying, screaming, whining.
Okay. And then if he's like really upset, he'll throw and kick.
Some kind of, yeah.
Okay.
And usually some kind of like throwing or kicking or pulling on people.
Okay. All right. And how long would you say those tantrums usually go on for?
Probably like 5 to 10 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
Or yeah, maybe like 5 to, I don't know. Could go to 30 minutes though.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And then what would you say is the single most concerning problem behavior if you had to kind of pick apart that tantrum?
Probably the crying and the screaming.
Okay.
When he gets violent though too.
Okay.
Because that's concerning for other people. Definitely. Someone could get hurt.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that could be pretty challenging, I can imagine. And then what would you say are the top 3 most concerning problem behaviors? You would say probably the aggressive behaviors that come along with the tantrum being number 1?
Yes.
Okay.
And then the screaming. And he flops too. Like he'll throw himself on the ground and flop around.
Okay. All right, so aggression, screaming, and flopping, and those you usually all see during a tantrum.
Yes.
Okay. And then any other behaviors you wanted me to know, or are those just the main ones?
That's pretty much it.
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Okay, and now we're going to kind of dive into the problem behaviors a little bit more. So describe the range of intensities of the problem behaviors and to the extent to which Christian or others may be hurt or injured from the problem behavior. Would you say it's a pretty high range or a lower range, somewhat moderate?
I'd say moderate.
Moderate most of the time. Okay. And then would it be safe to say that when the aggression or flopping kind of comes into play as well, you would say it's of a higher range or still kind of moderate?
That would be the higher. It would be higher then.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Okay, and then do the different types of problem behavior tend to occur in bursts or clusters? And or does any type of the problem behavior typically precede another type of problem behavior? Would you say that a certain behavior you would see before the tantrum occurs, or kind of as like a warning sign that a tantrum is about to occur?
No, they just happen in bursts.
Okay.
There's usually not really a warning. It seems like more kind of like a reaction kind of.
Okay. Yeah, so right when he kind of gets upset, it kind of goes straight to that. Okay.
Straight to the tantrum, yeah.
Okay. All right. And then under what conditions or situations are the problem behaviors most likely to occur, would you say?
Probably when he doesn't want to, he's asked to do something and he doesn't want to do something.
Okay.
Or when he wants to do something and someone tells him no, that he cannot do something.
Okay.
When things go the way that he does not want them to go, things go differently.
Okay. It's kind of that change in routine a little bit. Would you say it's more routine based, or would you just say it's more kind of a denial in the moment? If he were to ask for something or show you he wanted something, is that more when it kind of occurs, or is it more routine based, like when his routine gets interrupted?
When his routine gets interrupted, like his expectation gets interrupted.
His expectation, okay.
Then he tantrums.
Okay. Okay, so just to recap, when he's asked to do something and doesn't want to, is told no to getting something or doing something, which kind of goes hand in hand with that expectation being interrupted or denied, correct?
Right.
Okay. All right, and then do the problem behaviors, the tantruming, reliably occur during any particular activities?
Not really. It's pretty much random things.
Okay. And then I do want to ask, because you guys do go to church regularly, is he able to sit through mass okay and everything?
No,
or is that no? Okay.
No, he's not. He will, if he's told to do something, like kneel, and he doesn't want to do it, he will tantrum.
Okay.
And he will kick, like the seats and the pews, the kneeler.
Okay. Okay, and then how are his transitions to therapy as well? Is he pretty okay with that because it's part of a routine, or sometimes he doesn't want to go, other days he's okay with going?
He's usually pretty okay with going.
Okay. All right, thank you. Just wanted to ask those specific questions since those seem to be some pretty regular activities for him. But then besides those, you would say it's pretty random, kind of in the moment?
Yes.
Okay. And then what would you say seems to trigger the problem behavior?
To trigger the tantrums?
We kind of touched on it earlier, but would you say, again, it's kind of the same as the conditions or situations that the behaviors are most likely to occur?
Yeah.
Okay, so when he's asked to do something and doesn't want to, and his expectation is interrupted or denied. Okay.
It's like mostly when his expectations are interrupted.
Okay.
And it doesn't go the way that he thought it would go.
Okay.
Which is like him not getting his way, you know?
Yeah, okay. Gotcha, yeah, that could be hard for everyone. All right. Okay, moving on. We touched on this a little bit again, but just to get a little bit more specific, does the tantruming occur when you break routines or interrupt activities?
They will. sometimes, but usually his behaviors interrupt the activity.
Okay, gotcha. Going off of that, when you say usually his tantrums interrupt the activity, do you often find yourself either removing him from the activity to kind of ease that tantrum?
Yeah, or sometimes just, yeah, giving into what he wants.
Okay. And then when you say giving into what he wants, sometimes that would be in the moment when something comes up that he kind of communicates that he wants something, or would you say like giving him a preferred toy like his iPad or stuffed animals kind of helps to alleviate that as well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so giving him what he wants momentarily, or just based on what you know he already likes, right?
Right.
All right. We're nearing the end here. I have about 7 more questions for you. We're about halfway through, actually, just so you know. And then would you say, does the problem behavior occur when it appears that Christian won't get his way? I think you kind of indicated that that's a yes. Okay. And then the things that he often attempts to control in those situations is just getting something out of it. Would you say it's more of receiving something or more of him getting out of something, or kind of 50-50?
Okay. Yeah, it's like both.
Okay.
Like sometimes he'll want something, and then sometimes he just doesn't want to do something.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. All right. And then how do you and others typically react or respond to his tantruming?
I think I said this before. It's like, sometimes we give in.
Yeah, giving in. Yeah. Sometimes.
To it.
Okay.
Like if he wants to play with my daughter's phone, she'll say no, no, no. Yeah. But then finally she'll give it to him and let him play with it.
Okay, gotcha.
Just to get him to stop tantruming.
Okay, yeah. So you try to kind of.
We try, but then we end up giving in.
Yeah. Okay. All right. And then what do you and others do to calm Christian down once he engages in the problem behavior? If there's anything other than kind of just giving him what he wants in that moment?
Well, we'll try to ignore him.
Okay. All right. But would you say it's kind of more effective in shortening the tantrum or putting an end to it when you do give in?
Yes.
Okay. And then when you do try to ignore him, have you had any successful attempts with that in which he kind of will stop tantruming? Or...
No, we kind of just ignore him and then end up giving in.
Okay.
To what he wants.
Okay. So that's not super effective, it seems like then.
No.
Okay. All right. And then if there's anything in addition to kind of just ignoring the behavior, what do you or others do to distract him when he is engaging in the tantrum behavior, if anything at all?
We pretty much just try to ignore him.
Just mainly ignoring him.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And then is he sometimes okay with you kind of giving him like a replacement towards something he wants if you can't get that right in the moment? Or is he very strict on this is what I want right now?
Well, we might say, if you wanted something, maybe he could have it for 5 minutes.
Okay.
So we'll put a limit on it.
Okay.
Whatever he might want, maybe, if we didn't want him to have it.
Gotcha. Okay. And then would you say when you do allow him access or like escape from a certain activity or toy, and then limit it, when that limit is up and you take it away, does that kind of restart the tantrum, or is he okay with it sometimes?
Sometimes he's okay with it, but sometimes he's not.
Okay. All right. All right. And then what do you think Christian is trying to communicate when using his tantrum behavior, if anything? Would you say it's solely for access or to get out of something? Or does it ever happen due to perhaps like him trying to communicate something else with you?
Well, probably just the way he feels about things, but he doesn't know how to do it maybe appropriately.
Okay, so somewhat like a frustration.
Yeah.
Okay. But you would still say you don't think communication is the main cause of it. It's more so that access to something.
Yeah.
Okay. Or escape from something else. Okay. All right. We just have a couple more questions here. Do you think the tantruming is a form of self-stimulation? And if so, what kind of gives you that impression? Do you think he kind of does it, in other words, on his own, and doesn't really seem to be a cause to it, and he kind of just does it for himself?
Well, he does it because he usually wants something.
Yeah. Okay. So probably not a form of self-stimulation, it seems like. Okay. And then for our last question, which I think we kind of touched on this, but just to summarize, the question is, why do you think he's engaging in the problem behavior? But I think it's safe to say usually for that access or escape from something.
Yes.
Okay. And then minimally if he's frustrated with kind of trying to complete something or do something that he needs more assistance with. Okay. All right, and then before we end this interview, I just wanted to leave the floor open for you. Was there anything else you wanted to address?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So just quick sum. He tantrums. You would say the most severe tantruming involves the aggression and then kind of throwing things. Kind of more moderate is when it's just that kind of screaming and crying, and usually because he wants something or wants to get out of something, right?
Yes.
Okay. Mm-hmm. He loves playing on his iPad, usually alone, not too much engagement with others.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Also, is into stuffed animals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then usually when the tantrum happens, it's just kind of like a burst of all those behaviors at once. Okay.
Yes.
Sometimes more behaviors than others within those tantrums. All right. He transitions pretty well to therapy, which is nice. But you do want him to kind of decrease the tantruming in church and things like that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. All right. And then yourself, his sister, and dad. You'll try to kind of prolong it and not always give in to that access or escape, but oftentimes it does lead to that, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, well, awesome. Thank you for interviewing with me. I look forward to working with you again.
Thank you.